It was a bright morning in March 1918 when one of the U.S. Navy's largest ships, the USS Cyclops, sailed out of the harbor in Barbados. She was a massive steel colossus 542 feet long, carrying over 10,000 tons of manganese ore, and manned by 309 crew members. Her destination was Baltimore. Her voyage seemed routine, but the Cyclops never made it. No distress signal, no wreckage, no survivors. It was as if the sea had swallowed her whole. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops remains one of the most baffling mysteries in maritime history. What happened to her and the vast stretch of ocean now infamous as the Bermuda Triangle? The story of the Cyclops begins during World War I. Built in 1910, she was designed to refuel American warships with coal and later manganese, a critical metal used in steel production for the war effort. She was commanded by Lieutenant Commander George Worley, a German-born officer known for his strict and often erratic behavior. Many of his crew quietly disliked him, but orders were orders. In early 1918, the Cyclops was assigned to transport manganese from Brazil to the United States. She stopped briefly in Rio de Janeiro, then again in Barbados for supplies. Everything seemed fine. Then, on March 4, she set sail for Baltimore and vanished without a trace. What makes the Cyclops story so unnerving is the complete lack of evidence. There were no SOS signals, no floating debris, and no signs of a storm strong enough to destroy a ship of that size. Even decades later, no part of her wreck has ever been found. When the Navy investigated, they were stunned. The official report read, "The disappearance of the Cyclops is one of the strangest mysteries in the annals of the Navy. There has been no trace of any kind and no wreckage, no oil slick, nothing." Naturally, this silence from the deep sparked countless theories. Some were scientific, others a broken bar far more strange. One of the most grounded explanations suggests the Cyclops was simply overloaded. The massive weight of the manganese ore may have destabilized the ship, especially if the cargo shifted during rough seas. Some engineers believe the Cyclops may have turned turtle, capsizing so quickly the crew never had time to react. But if that happened, why wasn't any wreckage ever recovered? Even large ships that sink typically leave oil slicks, life rafts, or debris behind. The ocean may be deep, but not infinitely so. Others point to structural failure. Reports from Brazil noted a cracked cylinder in one of the ship's engines. The Cyclops was heavily loaded, and its aging steel hull might have given way under pressure. Again, though, this explanation doesn't account for the total absence of evidence. Then there's the human factor, and here, things get darker. Commander George Worley's behavior was notoriously erratic. Crew members complained he treated them with cruelty, calling them sons of the devil and even brandishing his revolver on deck. Some officers reported he was mentally unstable. Rumors swirled that he had sympathies for Germany during the war, which made the Navy uneasy. Could he have deliberately sabotaged the ship or defected? There was even talk that he might have guided the Cyclops into enemy hands. But the theory collapses when one asks, where would he have gone? No German submarine or base was ever connected to the case. No nation claimed the ship. No ransom was demanded. So if not mechanical failure, and not mutiny, what then? That's when the legend of the Bermuda Triangle enters the story. The stretch of ocean between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico has long been associated with vanishings, ships and planes disappearing under mysterious circumstances, compasses spinning wildly, radio signals dying out, time distortion, magnetic anomalies, and all whispered explanations for what's known as the Devil's Triangle. The USS Cyclops sailed directly through this region. Some researchers believe strong geomagnetic forces there could interfere with navigational instruments, confusing the crew and steering them off course into danger. Others propose methane hydrate eruptions, giant bubbles of gas escaping from the ocean floor that can reduce water density and cause massive ships to sink in seconds, leaving no trace. But more fantastical ideas soon took hold. A popular one is that the Cyclops was abducted not by enemies, but by something far beyond Earth. UFO enthusiasts claim the Bermuda Triangle is a window or energy vortex, a sort of portal where the fabric of space-time is thin. In this version of events, the Cyclops didn't sink at all and it was pulled into another dimension. Some modern theorists expand on this, tying the triangle's phenomena to electromagnetic energy, or even remnants of Atlantis technology buried under the sea. According to these ideas, ancient power sources could still be active, creating disruptions capable of swallowing ships whole. Skeptics, of course, dismiss such notions as fantasy, but here's where the mystery deepens. Because the Cyclops wasn't the only ship of her class to disappear in the same area. During World War II, two of her sister ships, the USS Proteus and the USS Nereus, vanished under similar conditions, in nearly the same stretch of ocean. Both were carrying heavy cargo, both disappeared without a single distress call, and neither was ever found. 3 identical ships, 3 disappearances, no survivors. Even for skeptics, that's hard to brush off. Could there be a structural flaw in their design? Or was there truly something cursed about those waters? In 1968, nearly 50 years later, an American nuclear submarine, the USS Scorpion, also vanished while crossing part of the same Atlantic region. Though debris was eventually found on the seabed, the cause of its destruction remains unclear. It's as if the ocean keeps its secrets buried, deep and silent. Some oceanographers suggest that the Bermuda Triangle isn't cursed, but simply one of the most heavily traveled regions in the world, a place where navigation errors and storms are statistically more likely. Others point to powerful undersea currents, like the Gulf Stream, which could easily disperse wreckage far and wide. But despite all logic, the legend of the Triangle persists, and the Cyclops remains its most enduring ghost story. For over a century, explorers, divers, and naval historians have searched for the ship's final resting place. Modern sonar scans and submersible missions have mapped thousands of square miles of seabed, yet not a single bolt, plate, or piece of her has been identified. The ocean floor in that region drops to depths over 27,000 feet. Sunlight never reaches it. Temperatures hover near freezing. If the Cyclops lies down there, she sleeps in total darkness, a steel tomb untouched since 1918. Imagine that, 309 souls, gone without goodbye, their final moments lost to time and tide. Families waited for months for news that never came. Letters went unanswered. Parents, wives, children, all left with silence. In Baltimore, a memorial still stands for the Cyclops crew. It reads, "Lost at sea, March 1918. That's all." No explanation, just loss. More than 100 years later, the mystery remains unsolved. And maybe that's part of what makes it so haunting, because sometimes, the unknown isn't something we can solve with science or reason. Sometimes, it's a reminder that the world and the seas that cover it still hold secrets we're not meant to uncover. The USS Cyclops vanished without a trace, but her story, a broken bar, continues to echo through the waves.